Hello, good morning. Pen? Hi.
Okay, so I think I'm set. Okay, let me put this in.
Good morning. Hi, James.
Morning.
Hi, Pen.
Thank you. Hi. I don't know if the is the picture at the back distracting or it's okay.
No, it's fine.
No, it's fine.
It's fine. But we just lost
Xue Mo?
Xue Mo.
Uh-huh.
He was
Okay.
here. There he is.
There he is again. Pen, while we're waiting, it occurred to me that I did not write a closing. Is it okay? I mean, I was just going to say I would like to extend a heartfelt thank you to the author, to Pen, and to everyone who was involved. And thank you all for joining. I mean, can you at the end translate that?
Can we just say thanks to everyone?
Sure. Okay.
Translation, I'll just say thanks everyone.
That's fine. Yes, that's fine. Okay, we'll keep it very simple.
Okay, I'll just say that Tanya just said thanks everyone.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's totally fine.
Okay, yeah, I have everything else. Everything is translated so that I don't have to worry about thinking.
Oh, so helpful. Thank you so much. Yeah, this is really. Oh, it's funny. I can't show it to you. Oh wait, I have to hold it here. Maybe. Yeah. Look at that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was saying that it doesn't flicker in and out, but when you move, it does. You know.
Yeah. You have to try to stay very still. And James, you have the most updated version, correct?
Yes.
I had attached it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Terrific.
Yeah. I was practicing yesterday. I was reading really fast, so we had extra time at the end. Hi, Xue Mo 老师.
Hi.
Yeah, so I'm not really worried now about going over time. I've shortened the passages that I'll be reading, and we should be okay.
That's great. So yeah, right now we're just in this practice session. So if you see at the top, you are in a practice session start webinar. I'm going to click that start webinar in about 7 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. Xue Mo 老师他刚刚 I'm going to translate for him. 他刚刚说现在还没有正式开始，9点钟他会让这个正式开始。
好的，谢谢。
谢谢。你们那里是9点钟，晚上9点钟。
对，晚上9点。
Yeah, they're 9 o'clock at night right now, so we're 12 hours.
Yeah, I hope that's okay for the audience. It's a good thing we're recording it. So, I think I heard from Amy that there were some issues with the link registering. So she felt like there would only be a couple of hundred people joining, but it's totally fine because we're recording it. So
yeah.
Wow, a couple hundred is not bad.
Oh, I mean, I think it's fabulous, but she seemed to think that was not a very large number compared to what we're hoping.
Well, thank you. Thanks, Tanya, for putting everything together.
Oh, it was. I'm going to say it was a fun experiment, but I hope it's much more than an experiment. I think I'm feeling great about it right now because we're all here. and yes. Pen did most of the work at this point, really.
Well, you put the platform together, which was quite a challenge too, right?
Yeah, only because we don't have the webinar functionality. We're thinking about getting it, but it's expensive and we're a nonprofit, right? So we're borrowing it for this purpose right now from
SUNY.
Yeah， 这是他们第一次做这个webinar， 他们第一次。Yeah, saying this is the first time you're doing a webinar.
Not to concern him or anything.
He's special. 他说你特别，所以。
Oh, Marlena, you're in as a panelist?
It says once I click start, attendees can join the webinar. I won't.
Oh, how strange. Okay. Did you register as an attendee?
I don't know. I registered, I know that.
Are you signed in on the SUNY Press account?
I just clicked the link in the invite.
Okay. Because you're showing up as Tanya down there.
Yeah.
I am? Oh my God, how weird.
Yeah. And
wow.
It's a webinar.
I just signed on the link that was in the invitation.
It was Tanya's invitation.
Right. And I signed in on that link that was in her invitation to all of us. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So that's different than expected. Okay. Well,
I won't click start. If I'm the only one with the start power, I won't click it until you tell me to.
Well, I should have the start power because it says that I can start the webinar, but stay here just in case something is walking back.
Don't worry.
So Fan Pen, this is our director of SUNY Press, Marlena.
So Tanya, I have an option to reclaim as host or to stay as a co-host, which I want to do, correct?
Just stay as a co-host, yeah. And so you'll be, unless you hide yourself, you will be a panelist and will stay off. You can stay off screen if you want to.
I will stay off, yeah.
I mean, you can stay on. It's just might be a little confusing since there's two of me now and we look different.
I know, I don't want that. So actually, how do I get myself off? What do I do there?
Just stop video at the bottom left.
Oh, for me. Oh, that's all I do. Okay, I'm thinking there was something else I had to do here. Yeah, I can stop video. Okay,
I think that,
I will do that. I'll do that right now. Let me stop now so people don't get confused.
And but stay here because if for some reason there's something wonky with this, then you'll be able to start it.
I'm not leaving.
Okay, so we have a minute basically to go.
Of course, yep.
Okay, everyone, I'm going to start the webinar and there's a little bit of a delay, so I'm going to count to 10 before I start speaking. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our interview today with Xue Mo, author of The Curses of the Kingdom of Xixia, and Fan Pen Li Chen, its translator. I'm Tanya Isa, Director of Marketing and Sales here at SUNY Press, and it is my distinct pleasure to be here today with such esteemed scholars.
我帮他翻译。大家好，欢迎来到我们对英文版《西夏奏》的作者雪墨和翻译者陈李凡平的访谈。我是纽约州立大学出版社的市场销售总监 Tanya Isa。今天非常荣幸能与这些杰出的学者共聚一堂。
SUNY Press was founded in 1966 to support the State University of New York's commitments to teaching, research, and public service. Today, we partner with scholars around the world to expand knowledge in established and emerging fields, provoke critical thinking and conversations, and illuminate human experiences in all their diversity and complexity.
纽约州立大学出版社成立于1966年，指向在纽约州立大学的教学、研究和公共服务等方面提供支持。如今，我们与全球学者展开合作，目的是在既定和新兴领域拓展知识，激发批判性思维和对话，并阐明人类经历的多样性和复杂性。
Joining me today is James Peltz, Editor-in-Chief here at SUNY Press.
与我一同参加访谈的是纽约州立大学出版社主编 James Peltz。
Also here is Fan Pen Chen, an Associate Professor Emerita of East Asian Studies at the University of Albany. She is the author and translator of several books and translator of this book, Curses of the Kingdom of Xixia by Xue Mo.
陈李凡平是纽约州立大学奥尔巴尼分校东亚系的荣誉退休教授。他不但是多部书籍的作者和翻译者，而且是英文版西夏奏的翻译者。
Xue Mo is a renowned cultural scholar and author whose writing is deeply influenced by his native roots in Western China. SUNY Press is proud to be the publisher of his recent book, Curses of the Kingdom of Xixia.
雪墨是一位中国著名的文化学者和作家，其作品深受家乡文化，也就是中国西部文化的影响。纽约州立大学出版社很荣幸能出版他的Curses of the Kingdom of Xixia。
During our time together today, we will be posing questions to the novelist Xue Mo. I will now hand off to James for the first question.
在今天的访谈中，我们会向作家雪墨进行提问。现在我将话筒交给 James， 由他来提出第一个问题。James。
Thank you, Tanya, and thank you, Fan and Xue Mo. Xue Mo 老师, what inspired you to write this book?
雪墨老师，是什么给您写这本书的灵感？
是智慧。在写西夏州故事之前，我已经进入这个故事的世界。也就是说，这个故事中的所有的人物、生命和情节，在我的世界中都是相互的，并且饱满到可以呼之欲出的程度。当我写了这本书的开头，所有的故事内容便喷涌而出。我仿佛看到那个时代所有的景象和生活画面。换句话说，当我写这本书的时候，我的写作进入了一种欲罢不能的喷涌状态，写出的内容犹如神来之笔，带有一种浑然天成的味道。因此，我在写这本书时，感觉非常的酣畅淋漓，并且心中充满了一种 视野。OK，
我翻译哈。The inspiration is wisdom, and here I'd like to add that what the author means by wisdom is a kind of ability attained through self-cultivation and meditation. Before I wrote Curses of the Kingdom of Xixia, I had already entered the world of this novel. All the characters, lives, and plots in this story were alive in my world and ready to erupt. When I began writing this book, the story burst forth. It was as if I could see the scenes and lives of the eras. My writing gushed forth unwittingly as if I was using a divine brush. I felt a sense of hilarity and poetry. Tanya.
Apologies. Curses can be literal, like in spells. They also can be figurative. For example, a certain situation might be a curse. What are the different curses that are entailed in the title of Curses of the Kingdom of Xixia?
诅咒既可以理解为咒语本身，又可以理解为比喻。比如，比喻某种情况是一个诅咒。请问西夏咒的书名包含了哪些不同的诅咒？
西夏咒可以理解为一种对战争的诅咒，因为战争是中华民族摆脱不了的诅咒，并且总会带来屠杀。整部书充满了这样的寓意。OK。
Curses of the Kingdom of Xixia can be understood as a curse on war. War was a persistent curse for China that always brought massacres. The entire book is filled with this implication. Okay, I'm going to ask the next question. Did you conduct research for writing this book? Since Tibetan Tantric Buddhism is an esoteric, or what the Chinese term secret form of Buddhism, its lore and beliefs are unwritten. How did you learn about the religious lore of this belief system? For example, how did you know about the process of creating the black curse and the cure for having seen the black dragons? Are the executions of this spell and the beliefs associated with it part of Tantric Buddhism, or was it a fictional creation of yours? Before you answer, allow me to read an excerpt related to the execution of a black curse. And now I translate. 请问您有为写作本书做过研究调查吗？藏传密教一向必不是人，因此他的传统和信仰从未见于文字。请问您如何了解到这个信仰系统的宗教知识？比如，您如何了解到黑咒的制作过程，以及见过黑龙招致诅咒的治愈方法？这个黑咒的执行以及相关的信仰是藏传密教的是一部分内容，还是属于小说的一个虚构性内容？在您回答之前，请允许我读一段西夏咒中执行黑咒的选文。Okay. I'm going to read an excerpt here, a short one for everyone. This is on page 84. Uncle was making torma, a food made out of dough used as offering to the protective deity. And I'm skipping some paragraphs and going ahead on page 85. The sound of Uncle chanting the sutra began. The cabin was filled with a humming sound. This was a familiar sound that penetrated Jasper's soul, and he immediately entered into another state. It was a state of harmony and peace. Jasper delighted in this state. After having been immersed in mundane affairs, the soul would become a detached balloon, which floated up and down without being able to land. He would then long for this feeling of harmony and peace, a home for his soul. The reason Jasper read and chanted the sutra and mantras was precisely for building such a home for his soul. Jasper thought, the process of practicing was the significance for practicing. The process of living was the significance for living. But living was clearly a great illusion, full of impermanence, which could exist or extinguish in a flash. Consequently, its significance was also a great illusion. The thought that he was living in a great illusion suddenly made him feel empty. Snowfeather grabbed Jasper's hand all of a sudden and whispered, "Black dragons. There are 2 huge black dragons. Shh, it's terrifying." Jasper said, "Don't look." He felt her soft little hand trembling and sweaty. His head swayed. A thick, dreamlike feeling permeated his heart. It felt like a dream. Whenever this feeling appeared, he'd feel flustered and everything would lose its meaning. He would then wonder, what's the point of living? Okay, I'm going to skip a paragraph and continue on 84, page 84. Uncle stopped chanting. He held up the tormas and threw them onto the floor while chanting a spell. Shattered tormas were strewn all over the ground. Snowfeather was too scared to look at Uncle. Her face turned a bluish-white color as if she was frozen cold. Her body was also trembling and almost imperceptibly. Uncle laughed. "You didn't steal a look, did you?" Jasper said, "No." Uncle said, "That's good. If you'd stolen a look, you'd contract dragon poison. Your body would become numb and you'd turn into a leper." Snowfeather's tears gushed out. "I feel numb and bloated. I did steal a look and saw 2 black dragons eating the tormas. They were as thick as a bat, scared me stiff." Uncle laughed and said, "I told you not to look. Just as well, you'll get a taste of what leprosy is like. Jasper had seen lepers before. Their bodies rotted, horrible fluids flowed from them, and then they would die. So he asked, "Is there a cure?" Uncle said, "Yes. Wash with my urine." He pulled out a chamber pot from underneath his bed. As soon as she saw the stinky yellowish fluid, Snowfeather wailed out loud. Okay. Xue Mo 老师 will answer the question now. Xue Mo 老师。听不到，请您把那个
好的，我不需要做调查研究，因为我就是这种文化的一个传承者，很重要的传承者。因此，很多弥补世人的内容，对于我来说都属于常识。这包括书中阿讲或者金刚亥木洞背后的传承哲学、相关知识、训练方法等等，以及黑咒的制作过程和相关的治愈方法等。我对这些内容都朗熟于心，并且经过系统的实践，因此这些内容都真实不虚，包括黑龙诸法。OK。
I don't need to do research because I'm one of the main inheritors of Tantric Buddhism. Hence, many of the secret contents are common knowledge to me. This includes the inheritance, philosophy, related knowledge, training methods behind Aja or diamond Diamond Maiden Cave, as well as Execution of the Black Curse and its healing method. They're like the back of my hand, and I've practiced them systematically. All these contents are true, including the Black Dragon execution method. James.
Thank you. Xue Mo Laxue, the setting of the book is unique and vividly described. Can you share your process for creating such an immersive world?
这部小说写得非常独特和生动，您可以分享一下创造出这个身临其境的世界的过程吗？
当一个作家的智慧境界到达了一定的高度之后，他可以进入任何一个时空和人物。比如，当我写阿甲的时候，我就是阿甲；当我写琼的时候，我就是琼。我可以画像为自己笔下的各种人物，并且进入不同的时空和世界。换句话说，我在写西夏咒时，我其实就生活在书中的世界里。因此，书中的很多内容其实是一种灵魂的自然流淌，而非人造的一种产物。OK。
When a writer's wisdom reaches a certain level, he can enter any time and space and any character. For example, when I wrote about Ajia, I was Ajia. When I wrote about Jasper, I was Jasper. I could transform into the various characters and enter the different time and space of their worlds. Hence, many of the episodes in the book was a flow of the soul rather than man-made forced creations. I'm going to ask the next question. 我问下一个问题。The book dives deeply into the history and culture of northwestern China, where Xixia was located. I am curious about your sources for many of them, but due to time constraints, I will limit my question to 3 instances. I will read excerpts related to them for the delectation of our audience before you answer. The first one is about Ajia talking about hiding from the invading cavalry of the Mongols, known as the Iron Hawks. This happened about 800 years ago. The second excerpt details starvation during the mid-20th century. The third excerpt describes the making of ritual implements using human skin, bones, and skulls. This probably took place during the 1980s. Okay. 这本书对城市西夏所在的中国西北地区的历史和文化进行了深入研究。我很好奇您的资料来源，不过因为时间有限，我把我的问题限定在3个方面。在您回答之前，请让我为听众读一些与这3个方面相关的节选。他们是第一个节选是关于阿甲谈论躲避蒙古骑兵铁腰子的经历，这个大概是差不多800年前吧。第2段是关于饥荒的细节，是20世纪中期的事情。第3段关于用人皮、人骨和头骨制造法器的节选，这个可能发生在20世纪80年代。所以现在呢，我就为大家念这几个节选。Okay, I'm going to read some excerpts so that you get a taste of the novel itself, right? Okay, the first one is about the Iron Hawks. Okay, Ajia continued. In that desert, many birds became our food, but the Iron Hawks were watching us. What they didn't know was that the Mongols were watching them. Well, actually, the Iron Hawks are the Xixia people. What the Mongols didn't realize was that although no one in the mortal world was watching the iron cavalries of the Xixia, the god of death was smiling at them with an evil smirk. He was saying, "Who do you think you are? Even your great Khan is not big enough to fill a gap in my teeth." I'm gonna skip some passages and go to page 31. I heard Mom say, "Quick, Ajia." I turned around. Both my younger brothers had disappeared. Mom pointed to a shallow hole she dug under a grove of willow trees. She told me to lie down there and close my eyes. I knew what she meant. As soon as I closed my eyes, I felt my body becoming heavy. Sand slipped into my collar like worms and coolly licked at my chest. I wanted to say, "Mom, don't bury me alive." But I knew more sand was waiting like a thief for an opportunity. The minute I'd open my mouth, they'd steal into my mouth, advance into my throat and chest, and then swallow me up. They'd do that for sure. Besides, I knew that Mom would not bury me alive, because when I opened my eyes slightly, I could see the incredibly blue sky. A large bloody cloud was rolling in the sky. It's going to rain blood, I thought. A large shadow whizzed by, and then another. I couldn't hear anything, but I could feel the earth tremble. I sensed the black shadows of the iron hawks. It was the feeling of black sand, wind, black wind. Have you ever seen black wind? That's right. It's like having the god of death blow into one's face. I don't care what you say, but I could hear the grinding of their teeth. I didn't know how long it took, but gradually the wind subsided. I shook my head to get rid of the sand and looked at the willow grove. A deadly silence, a silence that was ghastly. Mom had already climbed out from under the willow trees. She was staring at a depression and crawling to it woodenly. I jumped up and crawled toward her. I shook her. She clenched her teeth to stifle any sound. I followed her line of vision and saw the bloody imprint of a hoof. I knew then why Mom was weeping. There was a protective talisman next to the imprint. It was my little brother's. Okay. Now I'm going to do the one about starvation. Okay, this Snowfeather and her mothers escaped to the mountains. One day she comes back to her village with wolf meat for her uncle and his family. Okay, and let's see. I'm going to start with page 201. She brought out the wolf meat, and the three boys pounced on her. Aunt slapped them away. They fell and bawled, but their hollering sounded more like gasping. There was, in fact, no sound. They're really starved, thought Snowfeather. She took out a dagger, cut a few slices of wolf meat, and gave them to the boys. Third Turner gulped down his own slice, grabbed his elder brother's, and zipped away like wind. Number 2 bawled, and Snowfeather cut another slice for him. How disgraceful, sighed Aunt. Okay, I'm skipping a paragraph about the aunt and continuing with Snowfeather asked Uncle, "Why have so many people in the village died? Isn't there grain in the storehouse?" "These are reserves in case of war," said Uncle. Braggett has the clan militia guarding them. People died in most village households. Quite a few families had everyone die. Any longer, the entire village will be finished. Okay, I'm gonna skip some more and go to page 202. Uncle said, "Girl, get some water and cook the meat thoroughly. I have trouble chewing it." Snowfeather nodded and went outside to get some hay. She then took the lid off the wok and found that hairy green mold had already grown in it. A familiar stench rushed to her nose. She turned around and saw Aunt staring at her wickedly. She immediately took a spatula and scooped out the green hair. Only then did she realize the stench came from a few pieces of meat. That's strange. Where did this meat come from? The monk brought us some mutton, explained Uncle. She stifled her disgust and scooped the stinky, sticky stuff into a broken basin. Unexpectedly, a finger suddenly jumped into her vision. Its shining nail was laughing at her. Aunt giggled embarrassingly and said, "We had to find some way to survive." Okay, so they were resorting to cannibalism, obviously. Okay, the last excerpt that I will read is about skinning a man for the leather for making ritual implements. Here, the man who is skinned is referred to as leather in the novel. This section depicts the psychology of Cripple Big, the downtrodden leather craftsman, as much as the techniques involved. Okay. Page 555. Different ways of cutting were used on different parts of the body. There were 36 heavenly deity and 72 earthly fiend methods of cutting, each being different and exceedingly meticulous. The method selected was based on the specific type of skin found on the differently shaped bones. What pleased me the most was that the leather craftsman had to chant a different corresponding mantra whenever he used a different cutting method. For example, the most challenging aspect of skinning a live person was to stop the bleeding. If the bleeding couldn't be stopped, the surging blood would distract the craftsman. A well-trained craftsman wouldn't need to use the hemostatic drug, since he would chant a mantra transmitted by his ancestors. Now, the mantra is there, but if you want to know the mantra, you have to read the book itself. I'm going down a couple of paragraphs. The work proceeded quite smoothly. People recalled that after walking the leather for a couple of hours, Cripple Big directed the horse back to the fort. The leather was hot and totally drenched by the time they reached the courtyard. Cripple Big had someone strip the leather and douse it with a bucket of cold water. Thereupon, the leather sneezed a few times. Such was the purpose of walking the leather. The combination of intense heat and sudden cold quickly loosened the skin from the body. Cripple Big struck a vertebra forcefully above the pelvis with a leathercraft hammer, and the leather collapsed instantly. For this, Braggett voiced his utmost admiration. And I'm going to skip some paragraphs and continue on page 557. The sooner dead, the sooner he escapes suffering, Cripple Big thought. An hour later, Cripple Big had stripped the skin he needed. He placed it in a vat with saltpeter and rice water. Although the man had turned into a bloody lump, he continued to scream in Cripple Big's heart. Cripple Big shuddered as he vomited. Guan San led other men in obtaining the calf bones and skull. The rest was tossed onto the back of the mountain slope and drew a flock of clamoring ravens. Okay, I'm going to ask Xue Mo 老师 to talk about these details, answer the question. Xue Mo 老师。
谢谢陈老师。首先，故事人物阿甲在现实生活中有原型，直到今天，阿甲仍被当地人认为是护法神，并被人时时提及。人们认为阿甲是修行成就后主事的一位护法神，并相信人们修炼到一定的时候，就可以和他进行沟通。据说，阿甲的原型曾和一家寺院的僧侣进行过较量，而我的一位老师专门还为他们调解打过官司，最终双方和解，各退一步，签订了和平协议。这个协议今天还保存在那个寺院里。另外，阿甲有时会参与人间的纷争，因此他经常会做一些恶作剧，比如他看到一些高僧大德经过时，他的两条腿会迈到两座山中间，让这些高僧大德从他裤裆里下面走过。需要说明的是，以上这些故事在中国西部都被认为是真实的存在。换句话说，书中的这些情节是源于一种生活的真实。OK。
First of all, the character Aja in the story has a prototype in real life. Aja is still worshipped as a guardian deity by the locals. People believe that Aja is a deity who stayed in the world after having completed cultivation, and that people who had attained a certain level of cultivation can communicate with him. According to legend, the prototype of Aja once competed with the monks of a certain temple. One of my teachers even went to court with the monks over this. Ultimately, both sides gave in and signed a peaceful coexistence agreement. Also, Aja sometimes takes sides in disputes of the mundane world and plays pranks. For example, when he sees eminent monks passing through a valley, he would stand astride the mountainsides and have the monks pass under his crotch. I would like to clarify that the above stories are all real occurrences in the culture of Western China. Such details in the book are all derived from a form of reality. Okay.
其次，关于书中饥饿的描写，都源于我的生活真实，也是生命体验。饥饿中的人们的生活，在过去其实是一种司空见惯的现象。对此，我进行了一些艺术性的创生的描写。OK。
Secondly, the description of hunger in the book is based on my own experiences. The lives of these hungry characters were common phenomena during that era. My work was simply a vivid and artistic rendition of them. Okay.
在这关于人皮、人骨和头骨制作法器，这些都源于真实的资料。在过去几千年的藏传佛教中，人骨都被用来制作法器，以比喻生命的无常。比如人头骨、人屁股、人的腿骨都会被用来制作法器，尤其是制作号，号就是吹的号子。这些源于古代印度的习俗， 古代印度就习惯于人骨来制作法器，以表达一种参透生命真相，进入超越之后的无分别的境界。OK，
Thirdly, the use of human skin, bones, and skulls to make ritual implements are all based on fact. In traditional Tibetan Buddhism, human parts have always been used to make ritual horns, ritual implements, particularly horns, to symbolize the impermanence of life. The practice originated in ancient India, where ritual implements of human bones reflected the state of non-discrimination of those who had attained transcendence. Okay, Tanya.
Yeah. So, Xue Mo, what are some of the challenges that you faced while writing this book?
您写作这部小说的时候，面临过哪些挑战？
写这本书的时候，我没有遇到过什么挑战，因为身心处于一种完全的喷涌而出的写作状态，非常陶醉并且享受，笔下自然流淌出一种顽强的景象。如果真要算挑战的话，我写作完成后，担心人们读不懂它，读不懂怎么办？换句话说，就我曾经担心这个世界。这个作品和这个世界的结束之间有一定的距离，后面再想一想，还是觉得顺其自然吧。OK。
When I was writing this book, I didn't encounter any challenges because the work was just waiting to erupt. I was intoxicated by that state of mind, and multifarious scenes flowed forth naturally. If there was a challenge, it was that after I finished writing, I was worried about what to do if people didn't understand or accept this piece of work. But then I decided to just let it be. James. We can't hear you.
Sorry. Would you say that all the characters are based on real figures, both historical and contemporary, including Snowfeather, the Avatar goddess?
所有的角色都有真实的原型吗？包括历史角色、当代角色以及女神的化身雪雨儿。
是的，是的，所有的角色都有原型，而且不止一个，比如琼。
Yes, all the characters in this work have prototypes, and some have more than one, such as Jasper. Okay, I'm going to ask the next question. 我问下一个问题。Is there any character in the book that you particularly resonate with? 在这部小说中，有没有哪一个人物让您特别觉得有共鸣？
有的，有的。我对琼最有共鸣。琼这个人物很有意思，他有好几个原型。第一个原型是琼布兰觉，在昔日无私的金刚心的主人公。第二个原型是大漠集中的灵光，琼是他升华后的一个体现。第三个原型是作者，就是雪梦，因为作者也和琼有一样的追求，它代表了人类生性和属性的争夺的一个对象，因此所有的人都是穷。换句话说，人既可以选择向往崇高，有可能选择堕落，堕落和崇高总是在争夺着我们。另外，书中的阿伽也和作者雪墨有一种奇妙的相近，因此阿伽的所有疑惑和反叛在作者我的生命中也出现过。因此，这些人物既是历史人物，又是作家本身。OK。
Yes, I resonate most with Jasper. Jasper is an interesting character with several prototypes. The first prototype is 穷波浪诀. The second is 灵官 in my novel Desert Sacrifice. Jasper is the sublimated embodiment of 灵官. The third prototype of Jasper is the author, myself, because I had the same pursuits. Objects of the competition between divinity and animality in human beings, everyone is in fact Jasper. In other words, people may choose either sublimity or depravity. Sublimity and depravity are always competing within us. Also, there's a strange affinity between Ajia and myself, as I have also had similar reflections about religion and have experienced the doubts and rebellions expressed by Ajia. Hence, these characters are both historical figures and the author, myself. Okay, Tanya.
Yeah. How do you hope readers will react to the book's exploration of the history, religion, and mythology of this marginalized region of China that once housed Xixia? How do you hope to achieve this through the novel?
鉴于本书对这片城市西夏所在地的中国边缘地区的历史、宗教和神话的探索，您期待读者会有什么样的反应？您期待通过这部小说实现什么目的？
其实我发现了一个奇妙的文学世界。换句话说，我写过的文学世界里，我写过的这个文学世界，尤其西夏州的文学世界，是很多作家都没有写过的文学世界。同时，他们对这些世界也并不了解。因此，从这个方面说，学mo对文学的贡献在于学mo发现了一个全新的文学世界，同时创造了一种新的表达方式。从小说和艺术的本身来看，从没有哪一位大作家像我这样写作，这也算我对世界文学的一种贡献。另外，西夏州的精神超越了很多民族，因为它直接反思人类的历史和文明，并且在内容上，它提供了一个文学包括。书中文学题材的写作突破了过去许多小说的写法，在思想上，这部书籍对人类的有一种终极的追问和贡献。因此，这本书放到世界文学的坐标中也非常重要。OK。
In Curses of the Kingdom of Xixia, I discovered a wonderful literary world not written or understood by others. Hence, Xue Mo's contribution to literature lies in his having discovered a new literary world and form of expression, which might be regarded as a contribution to world literature. Also, the spirit of the novel transcends nationality. It reflects on human history and civilization and provides a treasure trove of content. The writing style is innovative and its thought content contributes to humanity. It is important that this book is recognized as a piece of world literature. James.
Thank you. Xue Mo. You have written many books. How does this book compare to some of those other books you've written?
与您写过的其他作品相比，您对这部小说有什么看法？
《西夏州》是一部综合了多方面内容，并且写得非常精致和精彩的一部小说。相较而言，我的其他小说在探索和相逢性方面并不追求，而《西夏州》是一本非常具有相逢意义和创新精神的代表作。这源于这部作品只能通过这种形式来表达。相较于它，我的大墨记、电源白虎光可能更容易得到时代的认可。在我的整个创作中，西夏州可能并不是 最亮丽的作品，人们可能会认为大漠记、烈阳、白湖光、索萨拉可能最受欢迎。从这个意义上来看，从一帮读者的眼中，虽然西夏州并不认为是我最重要的作品，但它却是我的作品中最有开拓性和最有精神价值的一部作品。OK。
Curses of the Kingdom of Xixia integrates many different themes and is intricately written. In comparison with my other novels, it is exploratory, avant-garde, and innovative. This was because the work could only be expressed that way. It might not be recognized as my most important work by ordinary readers, but it is most innovative, my most innovative novel. Compared to it, my Desert Sacrifice, Hunting Ground, and White Tiger Pass may gain recognition by people of the times more easily. Curses of the Kingdom of Xixia might not be considered to be the most beautiful work among my corpus by many. People might consider Desert Sacrifice, Hunting Ground, and Suosalang to be my most beautiful works. However, it is my most innovative and spiritual work. Tanya.
Finally, do you have any advice for aspiring authors who are interested in writing novels based on history, mythology, and fantasy?
最后，对于那些有志于写历史、神话或幻想小说的作家，您有什么建议吗？
小说有各种各样的写法，我的写法在我的世界中是适合的，也是真实的。也就是说，我的小说表面看来是虚构的，但其实是一个真实的世界。我的所有的小说创作都源于我刚知道的一个真实的世界，当然是小说真实，因为我能刚知道的世界是一帮作家刚知不到的，所以我写的是别人刚知不到但可能真实存在的一个世界。那么将这样的世界展示出来，我觉得可能会对人类具有一种启迪性的作用。我希望那些有志于写历史、神话或者幻想小说的作家，能够在精神上有一种探险性的体验，这也许会让他们能写出更好的作品。OK。
There are different ways of writing novels. My style of writing is to portray the reality of my world. That is, my novels may seem to be fictional on the surface, but they are in fact real. All my novels are based on a real world. Since the world I can perceive is not perceived by others, so what I write is a world that others cannot perceive, but it is a real world. Then showing such a world may have an enlightening effect on human beings. Writers who are interested in writing history, mythology, or fantasy novels might try to venture into spiritual experiences, which might help them to write even better.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
Chen. I would, on
Thank
behalf
you.
of SUNY Press, I would like to extend a heartfelt thank you to everyone. Xue Mo, of course, Fan Pen, James, everyone involved, and especially everyone who joined us here this evening in China, this morning in the US. Thank you all for joining today, and goodbye.
Thank you.
Yeah, 谢谢大家，谢谢大家，
谢谢大家，谢谢。
参与者与听众我要谢谢大家，
谢谢，
也
很多。
永健
Thank you very much.
谢谢大家。OK。
谢谢，都。